Welcome to ETF Leaders, powered by the New York Stock Exchange. Joining me today is Andy Hicks. Andy is Director of ETF Portfolio Management and Research at SS&C ALPS Advisors. Andy, always great to see you. Thanks for joining me. Another year, and here we are in sunny Florida at the ETF Exchange Conference. Great to see you today. So now tell me, what investor outcome or problem are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about high interest rates affecting growth stocks. Growth stocks have been, obviously hit for the last year or two with the Fed increasing interest rates. That's going to affect their valuations. And what we're telling clients is say, hey, look, as the Fed potentially pauses here, you want to be very selective with your growth allocation. Most growth funds have about 40% in FANG stocks. Those are going to be very economically sensitive to a potential recession that we may be going into. So you want to look to areas of very large and secular growth. And what we're saying to clients is you can't find a better growth opportunity going forward than clean energy. There's so much policy support from the G20 nations. You've got a ton of corporate support in terms of everybody going ESG. And then you have consumers finally switching their mentality, right, into a more, clean, traditional, renewable type alternative. And so we think just looking forward, you want to be a lot more selective with that growth allocation, and clean energy is your position.
Okay, so tell me, do you have any ETFs that you'd like investors to consider?
Well, we do. It is the ALPS Clean Energy ETF, the ticker's ACES. It differentiates itself in a couple key ways. It only invests in pure play companies, meaning the companies have to be over 50% of their revenue or earnings towards clean energy. We want to give investors exactly what they're buying. The other key component is that it only invests in US and Canadian companies. It's really important in this space. Usually when you go over to Europe or Chinese clean energy companies, they're overfunded with debt. Those get hit in this kind of environment, and we've seen that empirically play out over the last year or so. So we only stay in US and Canadian companies, more transparent from a financial standpoint. But importantly, the fund is now diversified across 7 different clean energy segments. So you're not just getting a solar and wind ETF, you're getting the whole breadth of clean energy that, as I mentioned, have a ton of policy support behind them.
Okay, great. So now where should investors go to learn about this fund and also your market views?
Yeah, they should go to alpsfunds.com. We've got a whole slew of thematic ETFs for them to choose from. We tend to play more on that periphery of a portfolio for investors. You can do a lot of different searches on our website for those key funds.
Wonderful to have you here. And that's ETF Leaders, powered by the New York Stock Exchange.